Energy is the language of the universe. Everything you experience, everything you feel, everything you create in your life begins with energy. And energy flows where attention goes. This is why the way you direct your focus matters more than anything else. When a woman has forgotten her worth, her attention is scattered. She looks outside of herself for signs that she is enough, for reassurance that she is valuable, for proof that she matters. And the more she does this, the more she gives her energy away. She invests her life force into circumstances and people who may never return it to her. But the moment she decides to stop looking outward and begins turning her attention inward, something powerful begins to happen. She reclaims her energy. She gathers it back from all the places it has been fragmented. She no longer ties her worth to whether someone loves her or leaves her, whether the world applauds her or ignores her. She decides that her worth is not negotiable, it is not conditional, it is not dependent on anything outside of her. And with that simple choice of focus, her energy shifts. Understand this truth. You cannot create a new life from the same energy of the old one. You cannot step into the future while your attention is shackled to the past. If your focus is constantly on the memories of rejection, of betrayal, of being overlooked, then your energy remains stuck in those experiences, and the universe, like a mirror, continues to bring more of the same into your reality. But when you redirect your attention to who you want to become, when you focus on the vision of your future rather than the pain of your past, your energy begins to align with a new frequency. And the moment your energy changes, your life must change. Think about it like this. Attention is the spotlight of your consciousness. Whatever you shine it on grows brighter, stronger, more alive. If you place your attention on lack, lack expands. If you place your attention on fear, fear grows. If you place your attention on unworthiness, you will continue to attract experiences that confirm that story. But if you shine the light of your attention on your inherent worth, on gratitude for who you already are, on the vision of the woman you are becoming, that energy expands. And as it expands, it magnetizes everything that matches it. This is why a woman who knows her worth doesn't chase. She doesn't have to. She understands that by keeping her attention aligned with her truth, she becomes magnetic. Opportunities find her. Relationships that reflect her value naturally gravitate toward her. Success feels drawn to her presence not because she's striving, but because her energy is a perfect match for what she desires. It's not magic, it's law. Where attention goes, energy flows, and where energy flows, life grows. So the question is, where is your attention? How much of your precious life force is being wasted on thoughts of fear, doubt, comparison, or regret? How much of your energy is invested in proving yourself to people who may never see your value? Every moment you give attention to those old stories, you weaken the magnetic field of who you truly are. But you can make a different choice. You can pull your energy back into the present moment. You can say to yourself, no more. I will not pour my life force into what disempowers me. I will no longer feed the stories that diminish me. I choose to focus on my vision, on my future, on my worth, and when you do, you activate the greatest power you have, the power of awareness. Awareness is the beginning of transformation. Picture yourself as an energy being. Imagine cords of light stretching out from you, connected to all the places where your attention has been invested. Old relationships, past mistakes, fear of the future, longing for approval. Now imagine cutting those cords and calling all of that energy back to you. Feel it gather in your body. Feel yourself becoming whole again. That is what happens when you shift your attention. You gather your scattered energy and concentrate it into the present moment where creation happens. And from this place you can create anything. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, no longer defined by your past, no longer waiting for the world to tell you that you are enough. You are radiating your worth through your focus. You are living as the cause, not the effect. You are placing your attention on what you want to grow. and the universe has no choice but to reflect it back to you. This is the magnetic energy of a woman who knows her worth. She has mastered her attention. She refuses to leak her power into the opinions of others, into the memories of yesterday, into the fears of tomorrow. Her energy is directed, intentional, coherent, and because of that, she becomes irresistible. She becomes a force of attraction, not because she is trying to pull life toward her, but because she has become aligned with the life she desires. So today, remember this: your attention is your greatest resource. Where you place it determines what you experience. If you want to know your worth, stop scattering your energy in search of validation. Bring your focus back to the truth of who you are. Live in the awareness of your vision, and you will discover that the universe is already conspiring to meet you there. The heart is not just a muscle that pumps blood through your body. It is the center of your being, the seat of your emotions, the core of your existence. Science now reveals something astonishing. The heart generates an electromagnetic field that is thousands of times more powerful than that of the brain. That means the energy radiating from your heart influences not only your own body, but also the world around you. And when a woman knows her worth, when she begins to embody gratitude, love, and inner coherence in her heart, her field becomes magnetic. People feel her presence before she speaks. They are drawn to her energy, not because of what she does, but because of who she is becoming. The heart is designed to be in harmony. When your thoughts and emotions are out of sync, when the mind is telling one story but the heart is holding another, there is incoherence. That incoherence weakens your energy. It creates confusion, anxiety, and disconnection. But when your thoughts, feelings, and actions are aligned, when your mind and heart are speaking the same language, you enter coherence. And coherence is what creates magnetism. Gratitude is the bridge. Gratitude is not something you feel only when life gives you what you want. Gratitude is the state of being that acknowledges you already have within you everything you need. Gratitude says, I am enough, I have enough, I am whole right now. And the moment you embody that state, your heart begins to radiate a powerful signal into the quantum field. That signal becomes a magnet. It draws to you experiences that match the frequency of gratitude, abundance, and worthiness. This is why a woman who knows her worth is not desperate. She doesn't beg the universe for scraps of love, attention, or recognition. She is not trying to prove herself. Instead, she walks through life in a state of knowing. She knows that her worth is not up for debate. She knows that she does not need to chase because she is already connected to everything she desires. That knowing creates coherence, and coherence creates attraction. Think about the times when you've been around someone who radiates peace. You don't even have to hear them speak. You just feel calm in their presence. Their energy shifts yours. That is the effect of coherence. Now imagine a woman who is living every day in gratitude for her worth, who is in harmony with herself, who is no longer fragmented by fear or doubt. Her presence becomes magnetic. She doesn't have to try to influence anyone. Her heart does it for her. What's extraordinary is that the heart doesn't just radiate energy outward, it also communicates with the brain. When you feel gratitude, love, or joy, your heart sends signals to your brain that elevate your thinking. You begin to see possibilities instead of problems. You begin to feel inspired instead of limited. You begin to think thoughts that match the emotions of your future, not the memories of your past. This is how transformation happens, not from forcing change with the mind alone, but from harmonizing the heart and the mind into one coherent state. And here's the secret. You don't have to wait for life to give you something in order to feel gratitude. You can choose to feel it now. You can close your eyes, breathe into your heart, and imagine the future you desire as if it has already arrived. Then, let gratitude rise within you. Let your heart radiate the feeling of having it now. The moment you do, you are no longer waiting for your reality to change. You are changing your energy first. And when you change your energy, reality has no choice but to shift. A woman who knows her worth practices this daily. She doesn't leave her energy to chance. She sets the tone of her life by choosing the emotions of her future instead of reacting to the conditions of her past. She trains her heart to be coherent, and as a result, she becomes a living magnet for everything that reflects her worth. When she steps into a room, people feel her. They don't know why, but they are drawn to her energy. Her coherence calms their chaos. Her gratitude inspires their hope. Her presence awakens something within them. That is the power of the heart. That is the energy of worthiness embodied. The truth is, the universe doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to the energy you radiate. If your heart is broadcasting fear, doubt, or lack, then your experiences will mirror those signals. But if your heart is radiating gratitude, love, and worth, then the field around you begins to rearrange itself to reflect that energy. Life brings you people, opportunities, and synchronicities that match the frequency of your coherence. So the question becomes, what are you broadcasting? What energy is your heart radiating into the field? You cannot hide it. You may wear a smile on your face while holding doubt in your heart, and the field will always reflect the truth of your energy. But the moment you align your heart with gratitude, the moment you embody love for yourself and the life you are creating, you become magnetic. This is not wishful thinking. It is science. It is energy. It is the very fabric of how reality is woven. A woman who knows her worth harnesses the power of her heart. She understands that gratitude is her gateway, coherence is her state, and magnetism is the natural result. She is not waiting for her external world to change in order to feel whole. She chooses wholeness now. And because she does, her external world has no choice but to reflect that wholeness back to her. That is the energy of the heart. That is the power of a woman who has stepped into her worth and is radiating it to the world. Every belief you hold, every thought you repeat, and every emotion you dwell in becomes a program running in your subconscious mind. Most people live their entire lives recycling the same patterns, thinking the same thoughts, and feeling the same emotions day after day. They wake up in the morning and immediately recall yesterday's problems. Those memories trigger the same feelings, and those feelings inspire the same actions, which create the same outcomes. It becomes a cycle of familiarity, a cycle of limitation. And when someone has been conditioned to believe they are unworthy, when they've been told over and over again that they are not enough, that cycle becomes a prison. But it doesn't have to stay that way. The moment you become aware of your programming, you are no longer trapped by it. You can begin to break free. A woman who knows her worth has discovered the courage to dismantle those old stories. She understands that her thoughts are not random. They are creative. Every thought carries energy, and every emotion amplifies that energy. Together, they form the blueprint for her reality. If her thoughts are rooted in lack and her emotions are fueled by fear, she will continue to attract experiences that reinforce that state of being. But if she changes her thoughts, if she chooses new emotions, she begins to alter her energy, and when her energy changes, her life begins to transform. This is the essence of reprogramming. It is choosing to no longer be the product of your past. It is realizing that the old voices that said, "You can't, you're not enough, you don't deserve it," are nothing more than outdated software running in the background, and just like any program, it can be rewritten. The woman who knows her worth does not allow her past to dictate her future. She interrupts the pattern. She decides to think in alignment with who she wants to become instead of who she has been. Reprogramming begins with awareness. You cannot change what you are unconscious of. The moment you notice the thought, the belief, or the emotion that drags you back into unworthiness, you have a choice. You can either surrender to it and continue reliving the past, or you can pause and choose again. That moment of choice is the crack in the system, the opening where transformation enters. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you keep your mind and emotions tuned to the frequency of unworthiness, you'll keep hearing the same old song. But when you shift the dial, when you consciously choose to think and feel differently, you begin to tune into a new station. And on that new frequency, a different life is playing, a life of confidence, abundance, and freedom. A woman who knows her worth chooses her frequency every day. She doesn't wait for her environment to tell her she's valuable. She declares it within herself first. She programs her mind with thoughts of love, success, and strength. She cultivates emotions of gratitude, joy, and peace. And as she repeats this practice, the old pathways in her brain that supported unworthiness begin to weaken. At the same time, new pathways begin to form, her nervous system rewires, her body learns a new way of being. She is no longer the victim of her past programming, she is the creator of her future. The body often wants to pull us back into the familiar. It remembers the feelings of fear and lack, and it craves them like an addiction, because that's what it has known for years. But when she notices the pull of those old emotions, she doesn't surrender to them. She reminds herself that those feelings are tied to a past self that no longer exists. She refuses to let the past dictate her present moment, and each time she makes that choice, she grows stronger. Each time she interrupts the old pattern, she reclaims her power. Imagine what happens when this becomes her way of life. She wakes up in the morning, and instead of revisiting yesterday's problems, she chooses to focus on her vision. She thinks the thoughts of the woman she is becoming. She feels the emotions of that future now, and as she maintains that energy, her external world begins to shift. New opportunities arise, new people enter her life, new circumstances unfold that reflect the energy she has been radiating. She is no longer living from memory, she is living from possibility. This is not pretending, this is not putting on a mask. This is creating from the inside out. She understands that the world is simply a mirror of her inner state. If she wants to see something new in her reality, she must first become someone new within herself. And she does this by reprogramming her mind and emotions daily. A woman who knows her worth has made peace with the past, but she no longer lives there. She honors the lessons but refuses to let them define her. She is not waiting for the world to change so she can feel different. She has chosen to feel different first. She has chosen to think thoughts that align with her future. She has chosen to create coherence between her mind and her emotions. She has chosen to radiate the energy of the life she desires now, and because she has done that, her energy has transformed. She is no longer weighed down by the heaviness of unworthiness. She is light, radiant, magnetic. People sense her confidence, but it is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is the quiet power of someone who has rewritten the script of her life and is now living as the author instead of the character. This is the power of reprogramming. This is the freedom that comes when you realize that your thoughts and emotions are the architects of your destiny. And this is the magnetic energy of a woman who knows her worth. She no longer repeats the past. She creates the future.